Okay. All right. I'm gonna explain this event for you guys so that this becomes, I think, a lot simpler. Okay. So, all right, let's talk about. Let's go through this event like bit by bit by bit by bit. Okay. So what's going on with this event? Okay. So, all right, we're gonna go through this. I said each step of the way. Actually, to make sure this thing is actually recording my voice, and then we'll get started. Okay, it is. Perfect. All right, let's do this. Okay, so let's talk about what this event is, okay? So, on the left-hand side, you see these missions? Take 5,000 damage, inflict, win one match, log in, complete three, all of these, okay? Consider these your base missions. These are the missions that you get just for logging in the game, just for being a player of this game. This is what these missions are. Doesn't matter. Like, these are just missions. Consider these your own personal missions on almost a battle pass. Okay, that is all these are. Okay, now, all right. What are these over here? These don't necessarily matter. Okay, they do matter to a degree, but not that much. What is the goal of this event? Let's talk about the first goal. The goal of this event is to get 600 points. Okay, each level, each tier you get gets you an extra, bonus of these blue units. All right. So how do we get the points? That is, I think, what is confusing people. When you do this for the first time as a brand new player, yada yada yada, not brand new player, but like let's say first time just kind of logging the game to see the event, right? You're going to have all of these. You're gonna have login for 2 days, can log in, blah, 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 all this blah blah blah, right? You can get almost all of these done in like 1 day, except for the login for 2 days. When you do that, you're gonna get 30, 30, 30, you get 90, you're going to get 120, you're going to get 170, and then you're going to have to wait for this one with the 30 here, and that's going to put you at 200. So what that means is in 2 days of doing this event by yourself, you will have 200 points. Okay? So that will automatically put you to here. But you still need 400 more. Okay, how do you get those? You get those by inviting people to join your team. Why does this? So how do you do that? Okay? To invite people to join your team, you're going to go here, click on this plus. You're going to put in either that person's name or the number that is their assembly code and invite them to your team or your crew, whatever. This crew code that people keep posting here, I need to be very clear. This code is only basically to invite people to your team. That is it. It is not, you do not give people that code for them to become, for you to like, for them to be under you. That code is saying, that code essentially says, hey, this is my number, call me, I want to be underneath you and have you as my captain. Okay, that is all that means. Now, so what do these on the right hand mean? All right, so these on the right hand are bonuses that you get for having people underneath you in your crew. Okay, here's the thing with this: you can get 5 people, but what's the point? You get 200 by yourself, and anything anybody in your crew gets give to you as well. So if you had 2 crew members and each of them did everything they were supposed to do and they got it and they did logged in for 2 days and all this other stuff, which is pretty much easy if you just play the game, right? They're gonna give you 200 and then 200, which means you're gonna be at 600 with only 2 people. Okay? Now, taking it a step further, when you invite 2 people in general, for the first person you invite, you get 50 points, and then for the second person you invite to your team, you get 30 points, which means that the 2 people that you have on your team won't even really have to do all the missions to give you the full 200. I mean, to give you the full 600, because one person could do 200, you'll have 200, you'll have another 80 from having 2 people on your team, which will put you at 480. So you only need one person to give you basically 120, and you're done, right? Okay. All of this is just bonus points that you would get for invited people, but it doesn't matter because you only need 600. Now, what does this top part mean up here? 600 equals 600. All this is saying is there's 2 different types of missions. All right? Assemble missions are just, this is another way of saying the points that you get when you have people join your team. That's it. You get base points for having people join your team. That's all assemble missions are. Okay? It's very confusing, but whatever. Member missions. These are the ones on the right over here. Okay, this is what you can do yourself to give yourself points flat alone by just playing the game or logging into the game. Okay, friend contributions. This is even more confusing, right? Because it's the same color for some reason. All this is saying is friend contributions is what your crew gives to you. Everybody in your crew gives you what they earn. So if you look over here, my captain currently is this guy right here. Okay, what does that mean? That means that when all of these points that I've gathered currently, I've gathered 170 on the, because I'll talk about the refresh in a second, but I've gathered 170 of the 200 on the refresh because I have to log every 2 days to get this the next 30. I've sent him 170 to the captain. Okay, that's the guy who leads me. Okay, the two people underneath me, because I'm my own captain, because I have two people underneath me, are this person and this person here. Okay, this person just hit 200, so that means, guess what? They are no longer technically a member of my team. As soon as they log in, they can join somebody else, or basically they can move on. That's all you need to know. They can move on to a different person, and join a new captain. This person, they have to hit 200, I believe, to move on to the next person. Okay, so that explains that. Now, just want to be very clear. This is completely different, completely its own set thing, different from this. This is what you get for actually, like, this is just another, I don't really know a good way of explaining this. Basically, this is like kind of like all of the passes honestly, I've never explained it. This is a funny way of doing the regular pay passes that we have, right? Where it's, you play more, you fill the bar, and when you fill the bar, you get free stuff. Instead, this time it's, you play more, you fill the bar, you get coins to put into the machine that then gives you something random, okay, from the total prize pool. So the total prize pool here is all of this stuff. The member exclusive stuff is the stuff that you would have to buy the actual pass for, right? What this is basically a battle pass, but done in a different way, right? Now, the way this works is, once you clear out one entire thing, you get the second batch. The first batch is the first row. When you pick everything out there, you'll get to batch 2. Now, the way this works is, again, is this goes away when this time period is up, right here. So when, hold on. I'm sorry about that. This time period is up. This goes away. This goes away when this time period's up. Unless, if you look here and see, if you actually get the battle pass, like you pay the $9.90 or whatever, which then also lets you get the Sue skin and the Reed skin once you do the vending machine enough times, this becomes permanent. Unless you do that, it's not permanent, and it'll leave whenever the date hits of 12/18. Okay? All right. So we got that understood. All right? I think we've broken that down. Now, I'm going to go back to the Rivals of Simple real fast, clear up all questions that I think I hear people ask, okay? So, how do you get, so if you are, okay, so the code, so we've already established that the code is only to give to somebody to say, I want to join your team underneath you as a captain. Okay. Second rule, you can only have one captain at a time, which means that the guy here, right, who was underneath me, he can't join anybody else until, because they just made a change today, a very important change to make this a lot more simpler and a lot more easy for people, which is good. They should have done this at the beginning, is once you hit the max 200 and you've given all the points you can to whatever your captain is, which I was their captain, right, because they're assembled underneath me, you get to be freed from this slot, and you can go and join another person's assembly team as a captain. Third thing, I hear this one. You do not have to play with these players. These players can be a Narnia, because I see people posting when they play and the different times they play. You do not need to play together at all to get these points. You get these points entirely on your own. There is no need to play with anybody else. This is just kind of a thing of just having people, quote unquote, like, I want to say incentivize to play, but basically kind of like incentivize to play the game, essentially. That's why when they join you, it's like, oh, they join me, they kind of have an initiative because they kind of need to play so I can get my points, so I can get my 600, okay? That's kind of, I think, what they're going for here, which, I mean, it makes sense. Execution, whatever. Anyway, so that takes care of that. Now, there is a loophole, right, that people have said exists. I haven't tried it yet, but the theory is, because you can't, if you have two people, like let's say Hardstuck didn't have a captain, right? Or let's say I didn't have a captain and Hardstuck didn't have a captain. I could invite Hardstuck to join me. Then Hardstuck could invite me to join him. And when I say invite to be underneath his crew. That's what the invite for. The invite is saying, hey, will you join my crew? That is what an invite is, okay? You do not invite people to be your captain. Sorry, okay, hold on. Let me try that again. Let me say this very clearly, because I need to make sure I say this exactly so it doesn't get confusing. When you invite people, you're inviting them to join your crew and for them to have you as their captain, okay? So if Hardstuck sent me, Muffin, an invite, they would be saying, hey, would you like to please join underneath me as I'm sorry, if they said would join underneath me as a crew member, and I would said yes, I would join, and on their screen they would have me here. It would say Fuzzy here, and then and then this would be blank because they wouldn't have a captain yet. Now, if I invited them back and said, "Hey, Hardstuck, will you join me as a crew member?" If they don't have a captain slot already, then I would possibly take here as their captain slot, and we would basically do the reverse for each other. Okay, so let me make sure I've cleared up every. I'm trying to think if there's any more questions that I think get asked on this. I've kind of gone through all the points. Another big one. Okay, you see how my captain currently is this guy here? Whatever his points that he has doesn't matter. Okay, he does not give any of his points to me. Captains do not give any of their points to the crew members. The crew members just naturally share their points with the captain. It's just kind of a give thing. It's kind of like a pay it forward thing. Think of it kind of like almost like if you go to like a drive-through, like Starbucks, and you pay for somebody has paid the card before in front of you paid for your drink, and so now you pay for your drink for the next person. It's just giving the generosity down. That's all it is. That's all it is, and it's basically a cycle now because they say the change to where once you hit your max 200 and you fully helped whoever you were with, you can go and help somebody else. So it's not like somebody can quote unquote be selfish and never do anything. If you are a captain though, you should be very clear. I mean, sorry, if you're not if you're a captain, but if you're a member of somebody, you should try to fill all of this out so that you can get the points, so that you can free yourself to go help somebody else. Again, these points here on the right, because this is also another confusing thing. All of this has nothing to do on the right-hand side with your captain's missions. This is probably a little confusing of an interface. All of this could be its own thing, and this is just saying on the right-hand side, this is the missions that you've done. That's it. This is the missions you've done, and the points that you've gained for doing those missions, and the points of these missions go to whoever your captain is. They share with your captain. I also think once you do the full loop and you help somebody, if you somehow didn't have full points yourself for 600, I think when you get a refresh, because when you hit 200 and you give full 200 to a captain, right, then it means that you get freed up and all these missions refresh. I think when you do them again for a second time, you get the points for them also, if you needed them. But by that point, you probably should be at 600, okay? So, clearing this up, when people get this thing that says you cannot invite this person because they have a captain, the reason why it's saying that is because you can only have one captain at a time. So currently, my captain is PK, right? If somebody tries to invite a Fuzzy Muffin, they're going to run into a situation where it's going to say, I already have a captain. Now, when I log in for 2 days and I get this full 30, right, and I give it to this PK guy, I will be freed. And so if somebody invited me, it will say, hey, it'll tell my screen, would you like to join this person? They invited you to join them. And I'll be like, sure, if they invited me and I edit, sure. Okay? I feel like I've covered everything. You do not need to fill all 5 slots. If you fill all 5 of these slots, you're kind of like, I don't want to say, I can't think of the word, but do not fill all 5 of these slots. You should only do 2. You should never need to do more than 2, ever, okay? And I think this explains everything, hopefully. So I'm going to end the video here. I really think I answered every single question. I think this is done. And by the way, if I talk loud, it's because I talk loud. I'm sorry, but I'm not. I just want to make sure. I think I went through everything. None of this matters. You don't need any of these. I already have 600 points by my own loans from just having one person give me 200, me building 200 on myself, and another person giving me 110. I'm already at 600. I got to 600 just from just that, which is that 80. Whatever. It doesn't matter how I got it from that. But anyway, the point is I got to 600. Okay. I don't know what all this is, but anyway, the point is I got to 600. Okay. I feel like I can stop it here. So I'm going to stop the video here and I'm going to add the video so it makes a little bit more sense. I feel like there's no more questions that anybody could ask. I feel like this is somebody asked me, what happens if I join a team, did some missions, and then add a guy to the team? No, you do not. No. Okay, very clear. Okay, another thing I should probably clarify right now, real quick. This is very important. This is very, very important. You do not share points with any of these guys on this team. This team, you guys are not working together, all right? I know it may seem like you are, but you're not. Like I said, you don't need to play together, and you don't work together, and you don't share points together. None of these people share points together at all. The only thing you need to keep in mind is that the right-hand side is the missions that you can do personally for yourself that will give you points and give them to whoever is this person right here in this captain slot. Okay? That is the only thing that matters. Then we go over here. The people over here, they have the same thing on their screen. Everything they do is all giving points to you because they are underneath you and you are their personal captain. Okay? And then these are just points that you get for free for just having people actually in your crew whenever you invite them for like the first time or some shit like that. Okay? All right. I think you could basically do a circle of whatchamacallits if you wanted to. So again, one more time. When you need people to join your crew, this code is not what you give people. Okay? This code is not what you give people. When you need people to join your crew, if you need people to fill these slots, you need to be asking people for their code, not giving them your code. That is how you sign up to be somebody else's crewmate and then under them and have them as your captain. Okay, I'm going to end the video here and I'm going to post it. Again, we have 19 days to do this, which means that basically you can reset yourself personally to different people, probably like not 10, but like 8 to 9 days, 9 times, depending on how many times you've ever done. I've already done it once. So basically 8 to 9 times in total, you could do it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to end it here. I hope this helps. I'm going to post it on everywhere. So I think this hopefully will help people.